Boards, games, board games. I might be talking about board games, but I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing, and today I'm talking about myself and all the games that I hope to put upon your shelf, and maybe you'll enjoy some of them soon. Once this board game makes its way out of my brain and into your room. Board games and conventions, it's what I'm talking about. Board games and all sorts of stuff, and I'm not gonna shout. Hello, it's 10 a.m. ish UK time for Busy Beats and Board Game Blether. And today I'm chatting about how am I, how's my stuff going? I'm chatting about the ELL Deck contests, the game design one, the arts one, Categorical, which is my priority, a game about selecting 7 cards, speedily searching for synergies, a game about quickly matching words to pictures, but never words to words or pictures to pictures, a game about counting cats, shapes, and colours that keeps getting trickier, drawn together, Yogi Jr, and then some conventions like Tabletop Gaming Live, Essen, and KCON. So I'll be talking about, in some cases quite briefly, let's start off with some recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. So, yesterday I just kind of took a lot of time out to enjoy the day, enjoy a last day up here. I played a couple of solo games of a game about selecting 7 cards, speedily searching for synergies, but having said that, there is a slower variant, and so the one-player mode, inspired by one of my Kickstarter backers, I had an idea for a 9x9 grid. You take one off and then you remove 2 of the cards, either in that column or that row. So you're not only thinking about what I want, but also what am I prepared to give up. And so that was an interesting decision. It seemed to work well. I played it, I tried to make free hands. There aren't quite enough cards to make free hands work. So I let that to the side. What did I do next? Oh yeah, then I played the speedy version. So in the speedy version, if you just put down a card and pick up the card again, there's no giving up anything. There's no excitement. So the speedy version, I said, was exactly the same rules. I wanted to see how it would work. I put the timer at 3 minutes. I was working on 2 hands of cards at the same time, 2 sets of cards, and you can see the first ever solo game. One of them, I was all about the creatures with Sensational Sam. And then the band leader gets 2 points for the musical notes from the Ovivore and Marie Kondo. The Ovivore gets a point from the egg on the Hungry Harriet. Hungry Harriet gets a point from the cake on the Ovivore and Marie Kondo. And of course, Sensational Sam gets 7 points. The Monocle Maker had another 6 points, so I think that's 18. And then with Marie Kondo and Bezzy Basher, that brings it up to 26 points, which is a really good score. I was really chuffed with myself. And a quick hello to Timmy. I'm just talking about what I was up to, and this does tie in with what am I generally doing. Like this, of course, I am continuing to work on a game about selecting 7 cards, speedily searching for synergies. I will report back to my Kickstarter backers, hopefully today, just to let them know what's been going on, because it's been almost a week since I chatted to them, and that's not great. So, but yeah, what have you been up to? What's been going on? I hope that you're generally well. Anyway, with the other hand that I was making at the same time, the volcano forces you to sacrifice another card before scoring, but that's 5 points, which is pretty good. The collector gives 2 points for each item, so in this example it would be 1, 2, 3, 6 points. 7 fancy shoes gives gave me 4 points for having the 4 legs, and then the nature and item art, and the creature is inspired by the nature and paint something, so that gets 10 points. And I think that's 4, 5, 6, 11, 21. Is that right? 14 plus 6 is 17, and then plus volcano is 22, and then the artist, each item art is 3 points, so that makes 25. And again, like a solid score, I was really chuffed with that. Oh, yeah, feeling good, not what? And so, yeah, it seems to work, and I am excited about that, and that brings me to brilliant thing, what's a little thing which is brilliant. I'm going to say that the brilliant thing for today is memories, like just memory in general, like being able to remember things. It's something that we take for granted. Like, I'm not saying that I've got the best memory. I'm certainly not didactic. It's not like I would see your face and remember it forevermore, or hear your name and remember it forevermore, but I will, hopefully with a bit of prompting, remember you. And if you tell me something really important one day, I will probably remember it the next day. And just, this is something that we take for granted, some sort of, because I saw that film Memento recently, and being unable to develop long-term memories. I mean, I know that memory is fallible, but at the same time, it just makes life so much easier that I don't have to write down everything on bits of paper, that I can be like, yeah, I've got photos for the things I'll forget, but I remember broadly, that was fun, that worked well, I want to keep doing that. And so, yeah, let's crack on with the main topic. As always, feel free to comment, ask questions, follow, and the topic today is how is my stuff going? So, oh, didn't think that would happen if I minimized that window. So let's chat about these things in order, and let's start off with ELL Deck Game Design Contest. Yes, this has been really exciting. I have 12 entries. I said to one designer, look, your game's probably almost certainly not in the top 5. The scoring's a bit, the general flow is really nice. And that one designer, is going to be hopefully helping me playtest a bunch of things. I'm hoping to have a bunch of people over on the 10th, like a couple of people, so we can play through everything. We can play through all the games, all 11 that are remaining. And I've got a couple of small updates. I've got Cruiser Verbal, the game about making a crossword, and Questable have been massively updated. I'm excited to try them. Some of the other games, it was just clarification. So now I know that I'm definitely playing it correctly. And one of the other games, it was, a few of them had a few changes because of feedback from me, but I'm really excited. All of them are from these designers. I might have helped a little bit with development, but this is the point where we say, these are the games, and which 5 are the top 5, and let's make a decision. And I'm really excited to do that. The next step after this is going to be rewrite all the rules, and anyone who wants to join in the public playtesting can do so. So if that's something that would interest you, let me know. The art contest. I'm going to collage these images together or ask someone else to do it, to spell out the ELL Deck, and we'll get a few folk together. I've got 3 things that I absolutely adore. All of them are brilliant, and I want to just celebrate them all. I will, in one stream, talk about the art, pick a winner, and then we will talk about the people and celebrate those people. And hopefully, someone's going to get a cash prize. Everyone in the top 3 will get mentorship if they want. Everyone in the top 3 will get a bundle of games. That is something that I'm excited to do, but I am not sure the exact date when it can be done. Hopefully in September. Categorical. This is still a big priority for me. Right now, this is my top priority. I'm feeling okay. Come back, got a good amount of paper, get started. Maybe Sunday, maybe Monday. I'll be really nailing down and doing a lot of stuff, going through all the letters and whatever I do. Once I've spent so much time doing these, and it doesn't need to be exact. It doesn't need to be perfect. That's the thing I keep reminding myself about, that it doesn't need to be perfect. And whilst the original, let me see if I can show you some of the original cards. Whilst the original type letters, I spent a good amount of time, like probably more than most people would imagine, like an hour on each of these letters, kind of drawing the curves with the pencil and then getting everything exact. But part of the idea of categorical is to have that energy. So I want to have a good amount of energy. It's going to be marker pens and watercolor, but done straight from the thing. It's going to be red and yellow and blobby on top and blue and white typeface, and now I just need to bloom and do it. That's the thing. Get it done. Get someone else to help me. I will make a box for it. I'm looking forward to getting that finished and getting that out so that people can once again buy the ELL Deck, because multiple people have been saying, hey, how can I buy it? A game about selecting 7 cards, speedily searching for synergies. So this is obviously on Kickstarter. Let's see if I can get... So yes, this is on Kickstarter, and that link will be in the comments or whatever, or just below. And I'm really excited by how well it's done. There's been like almost 2,000 quid coming in. A lot of that is going to go to printing costs. A lot of that is going to go to the shipping costs. I mean, but I will probably walk away with the people who pledged the full amount. I will be making maybe £1 or £2 profit. The people who pledged the for less than that, it's slightly subsidized by me. So basically I make no profit and I might be losing a few pennies, but also £4 of it is subsidized by someone else. So it's very generous, and that's why there are, like 51 people. And so if you want the game and you're like, oh, I like the game, I think I would play it solo, and I would actually play it, then if money is the thing that's stopping you from backing it, then please do back it and don't feel embarrassed. I'm not going to ask you any questions. And yeah, that's going well. As I said, I'm going to make an update. I'm thinking that the canvas should maybe be worth 7 points. I've got some thoughts about, maybe adding a few more cakes, maybe adding a few more eggs around, maybe, having, I don't know, the nature cards. I was thinking that the gardener should maybe just give you 1 point for anything that's nature-based, because they just love all nature, and the raining cat should go back to just appreciate. There's a lot of minor tweaks, and a couple of them were issues that had popped in from between saying, okay, this is the way the game is, and then it being assembled by the graphic designer, because Chris has been overworked. But I am generally happy with it. People have enjoyed it, and I'm really excited to ponder wee tweaks to bring out for the second edition. And that's what I love about print on demand, that I can make a version and say, this is cool, but it could be even better. And so let's make some tiny tweaks to make it that tiny bit better. Like, yeah, maybe watercolor paints could have a little pencil in there as well as the brush, like a pencil alongside the brush. I don't know, maybe collector could have a bunch of objects besides them. That would probably be kind of make sense if they are just have like a cake and an egg and a wine glass and a party hat and a pencil and a flask. And yeah, if the collector literally had one of everything, that would be interesting. It might be a bit overpowered, but I want to tweak things sometimes because I know it will be better, and sometimes I'm not going to lie, just for the sake of tweaking it and saying, okay, how does that go? And that's a game that I'm going to try out tomorrow at playtesting. I'm really excited about it. Yeah. Other games that I printed in time for Tabletop Scotland, I am happy with how well it's gone. We've got a game about quickly matching words to pictures, but never words to words or pictures to pictures. This is probably my fastest game to teach and the easiest game to teach. I just say, okay, you've got words, you've got pictures, and if a word describes a picture, then you slap both the cards and shout the word, and you grab both the cards. Now, there might be another match, or there might not be. If there is another match, you need to slap them, and if there's not, then you separate them. And the advantage here is that I can just explain it as it goes. I'll keep splitting until there's a match, and I'll take the first match, and then someone else might be inspired to follow suit, and if they get it slightly wrong, if they don't shout, if they only do it with one hand, I'll correct them. And honestly, this is probably my easiest game to demo, to explain. And I think that after playing it with an 11 and 13-year-old, I was like, wow, they both really fell in love with this game. I don't think it's quite done. I think that I would like to make some very minor tweaks again to the card balance. I think that, like, I'm talking things that probably no one will notice, but there is going to be a third edition. It's not just going to be a second printing. But yeah, that third edition is going to go up in price because at this point we are playing at the margins and it is as good as any of the games that are out there. Conversely, a game about counting cat shapes and colors that keeps getting trickier. This one, the one thing that I would change, if I could change anything, the only thing is the card distribution. So on the back, you've got, yeah, the cards were kind of clumped together when they were printed. So I want them kind of pre-shuffled, if you know what I mean, so that you can play it first time out the pack without actually having to shuffle it and make sure that that's okay. Making it slightly simpler by having only one thing that you need to count at a time rather than two was the right move. I myself enjoy counting two things at a time. Kat, my lovely helper, also enjoys counting two things at a time, but for most people, it's just that little bit, whoa, what's going on? But we did bring in yellow cats to bring back in that bit of confusion. Now, going to games that no one's paid any money for yet, Drawn Together. I did playtest it a few times at Tabletop Scotland. I'm really happy with how it's been going. People continue to enjoy it. Heart versus Skull feels like it's balanced. Fish versus Car, I'm not sure about. I feel like Car might have a slight advantage in that sheet. And Ghost versus Tree, by putting two extra circles to make it more likely that the ghost's eyes will actually be filled, I think that the ghost tree has a roughly equal chance. And I've seen times when the ghosts won, I've seen times when the trees won, and that's what I really need. with this game, every single time I make a new colouring in sheet, it needs a fair amount of playtesting, and it might be like 4 or 5 games until I'm like, oh, this is... But I don't really need to be there to observe the actual game. The most important thing is that I get a photo of the final sheet. So at some point towards the end of the year, especially if I'm going to be printing this myself, I will open up public testing for this and focusing on one thing at a time and asking people to please play it, report back to me, send me a picture. But again, what am I testing for? Because when it's all about the balance, which is the key thing, are you testing for the balance for the first-time players? Are you testing for the balance for very experienced players? Are you testing for the balance for people who played this particular sheet many times? People who maybe struggle with aesthetics? Like myself against Alan Paul. Alan wasn't quite good enough to stop the... I was the ghost, and Alan basically didn't do much to hurt the ghost. Whereas when I played against Charlie Paul, Charlie was really pushing against the ghost, and like I think it was like the results on Twitter were like 80% tree. It's like there's definitely, if I think about how can I test for the balance, I've got to basically ask the people to play it twice. That's the only really real way to test the balance, because otherwise it's incredibly arbitrary. Good morning, Josie. Sorry about your internet, and also sorry about the noise, which you might be able to hear from outside, but I'm glad that you enjoyed that game. And if you are interested in playtesting and you know one other person that you can maybe play 2 games with and then swap sides, then I would love to have your general feedback. And the final game that I wanted to talk about was Yogi Jr. Now, this hasn't been announced, and it's not been signed up. Look, this isn't me saying, oh, Gigamic is making Yogi Jr. I don't know if they will. It's just me trying to make a thing, and hopefully they will print the thing, and hopefully by printing the thing and selling more copies of the thing, they will sell me more money. Look, Yogi has done well. Yogi Guru has done okay. I think that, In a Bind Junior is a game that people are enjoying. There's lots of ideas there, like the noises and the movements that aren't too difficult, that I think could be brought back in for Yogi Jr. And I would love to arrange a meeting with Gigamic. I'm sure I'll be able to say, hey, here's a version of Yogi Jr. What do you think? And I need to spend some amount of time pondering that. Maybe I'll do it tonight. I'll see how much energy. And thank you. I mean, it's a fairly obvious idea. It seems to me like you've got the standard game. What's next? Well, either you do the expansion and make it more complicated, or you go down. And that's, if I've got to... So like, originally we had the expansions, and then I had In a Bind Junior, and lots of those In a Bind Junior cards I'm going to bring in. So this is going to be, hopefully, a lot of people say, oh, I still mix Yogi and Yogi Guru with In a Bind Junior, and hopefully I'll make a Yogi Junior that has all the best cards, and you don't need to mix them together anymore. And Josie, thank you very much. I'm excited to have you on the team, and also in general. Timmy, I hope you enjoy your donut. I hope you enjoyed your donut, I should say. So that is it for me. I'm not saying that there aren't other games that might be falling through my head. I invented a game earlier this week for the ELL Deck that's all about making 4-letter words that I played a few times on the train. I managed to score 11 out of 12 on my third game, which I was really chuffed with. It's not the easiest game, but it's not the most challenging game, and it's just 4-letter words. That's all you need to focus on. But yeah, I do allow myself to think of other things. And when I go to playtest tomorrow, if I feel, oh, I really, really want to try this, I will. But these are the games that I'm focusing on. And there are other games that I'm continuing to pitch in terms of a game about cute comical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises. That's something that I need to sort out. Licenses for a game about, what else? Stuffing balloons as a team without talking, but it's a card game. There are no actual balloons. That's something that I would like to show to other publishers. I mean, if I can get, that's why this is where I'm going to Essen. But that's a couple of minutes down the road. So let's talk firstly about Tabletop Gaming Live. And sure, I will stretch in just a moment. So, Tabletop Gaming Live is a thing in Manchester. I am also going to a sort of retailer meeting afterwards where I'm going to be telling retailers about my plans and my prices and encourage them to buy some of my games. Because, yeah, having games in board game shops is how you get them out there, and I would love to partner up with more. But the actual show, Tabletop Gaming Live in Manchester, I'm just going as a punter. I'm not there. It's not a big enough show to have international people or people that I might be able to pitch to. It's not a cheap enough show for me to make it worth me going there as an exhibitor. But I do like games, so maybe I'll go there for the weekend just to have fun. And that's pretty much what it is. I'm going there to have fun, then I'm going to speak to a bunch of retailers. Next on the list is Essen. Essen, I have actually Tabletop Gaming Live. I really need to sort out accommodation. Essen, I've sorted out accommodation for the Wednesday up until the Monday. I am traveling with Alan and Charlie Paul. I am super excited about that. I need to get a place for Tuesday night, and I need to double check that I can have 2 people in the room. So I'm going to check that out. And what I really need to do is over the next few days, start reaching out to publishers saying, hey, publishers that I would love to work with or continue working with, like Gigamic. Yes, they've treated me fairly well. I'd love to work with them again. Blue Orange, I mean, very big company. I'd love to work with. Like, I'm not going to start naming publishers because then I'll forget names and then publishers will feel bad. But like, yeah, I need to email people and say, hey, let's get a meeting and here are some of the games that I want to show you. And that's what Essen is for me. I am not going with a table. I will be actually probably spending some time at Vegard's table and showing off stuff. Vegard talked about having 2 p.m. events, which, here's the thing. Normally my 2 p.m. events are always for different games each day. And even during my first year at Essen, I had the ELL Deck. And so my 2 p.m. events, I think, were Yogi one day and then Wibble, Grabble, and I think I had Alphabetical as the other one for the 4th day. And obviously Grabble was on the fast day. Now, I've got a lot more games these days, and if I were to go there, I'd be like, okay, normally at a UK convention, if I had the ELL Deck in stock, it would be a triathlon because I don't want to spread that out over all the different days. And if I do a game about quickly grabbing creatures, that's totally different, and counting your beetroots or whatever, I would try and expand that, to twist the rules, to change it, to do something special there. And I guess it's possible to have a colouring in thing, But again, it's at someone else's stand, so I'm not going to be there to say, hey, do some colouring in. And at Essen, people are more likely to rush around. But anyway, getting back to the point, do I want to do 2 p.m. events, given that the only game I'm selling there is a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify the Australian's noises, because I can't take any stock over, thanks to Brexit. Yeah, I'm going to avoid rude gestures, but yeah, bloomin' Brexit. Thanks to that, I can't take stock over to sell, so it is just going to be that one thing. And yeah, I'll probably have to talk with Vagard about if we do a 2 p.m. event every day for the same game, is that going to mean that fewer people will be coming? Because there's no longer the sense of, oh, on Thursday there was that, but Friday will be different, and Saturday will be different again. And that, I think, is why people normally return. I mean, pardon me. Oh, wanted to sneeze. So like Tabletop Scotland, UK Games Expo, people return to these things, and Essen, people returned. And that was a lovely thing to see, especially because there's so much going on in Essen. Like 2019, it might have been, I don't know, 6 people for the first day, and then 7 people for the second day, and for Saturday maybe it's 6 or 7 or 8, and then for Sunday it might be like, okay, now we get 8 people, 10 people. And for whatever reason, maybe because in the UK a lot more people know me and I'm more of a bigger draw, I will get bigger crowds. For Tabletop Scotland, for I think Aircon, I got like 10, 12 people each day. Now Essen, yes, it's a much bigger convention, but it doesn't mean that that many people are there. So like, yeah, the 2 p.m. events, I don't know what's going to happen, but there will be at least one 2 p.m. event on one of the days. That's all I can say right now. But just repeating the same thing, it doesn't feel great. Josie does say people might choose to return to hold their title or to beat the scores. It is a fair point. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess as long as I say this is the same, it's going to be the same game, and I am there in a much reduced capacity. But yeah, Essen, I'm going to be there, but in a much reduced capacity. KCON, now this is a convention that I am having an intimate relationship with, and in fact, so intimate that KCON 2023 is going to have me as a guest host. Yeah, let's call it that. KCON 2022. Let's focus on this year. I am excited for it. I am going to be there. I think I remember that I booked the room. I'm fairly sure I did. And I sent the details. I'm going there with Josie. And Josie booked another room. And I think that I need to book the actual tickets. Let me know if that's correct, Josie, please. And I plan to be there for the entire thing from Thursday up until... Do we leave on Monday or Sunday? I can't remember. But it's a lovely thing, a small affair, like 200, 300 people. It's not thousands. It's probably a bit more than would allow you to play with literally everyone. You might not learn everyone's name, but you will see a lot of people over and over again, and you'll get to know folk. And I will be running a 2 p.m. event each day. Now, as I am there as an exhibitor, I need to have a new game, clearly. So, I've been thinking about this, and part of me was tempted to have 3 new games. I don't know if this is too much. Okay, you said leaving Monday. Yep, thank you for all the reminders, Josie. I do very much appreciate it. I will book the tickets today. So, KCON, yes. 2 p.m. events. A game about quickly grabbing creatures that are totally different, and counting your vegetables, that went so well, I'm tempted to just run it again. And I am tempted to just bring more prize support. Everyone who enters gets a copy of In a Bind Junior, because why not? I'm thinking that, or at least everyone in the finals will get a game, and everyone who enters will get a sticker pack. I do like the fact that the sticker packs at UK Games Expo, there's enough stickers that it feels quite cool. Once there's more than 4 stickers, once there's like 5 or more, it feels like, yeah, that's a nice sort of runner-up prize. I am going to make a game. These aren't the final titles, by the way. I would say these aren't the titles at all, but who knows? A game about creating poetry, or a game that's, I don't know if this is too long a title, a game that's creative rather than strategic or competitive, or a game that's more of an activity about creating poetry that rhymes. That's what it's going to be. Yeah, that's one of them. And then there's another one that's a game about judging which object best matches 3 criteria after everyone does a quick grab and a pitch. That's the other thing that I would really like to make. And maybe that's enough. Yeah, that is probably enough, because it's only in October, and I've got lots of other stuff to do as well. There's also a betting game that I'm really excited to make, but maybe I'll just leave that. I'd also want to say that December, which will be my final convention of the... Oh no, I've got 3 more conventions this year that I'm actually at as an exhibitor. So after KCON, in my thing, there's Nottingham Protospiel, which is not a convention at all. GridCon, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to be there. Gamers Gaming Getaway, I'm really excited by that. I will have something new. And Dragon Meet, 2 weeks later, again, I will have something new. Dragon Meet is going to be hopefully the launch of a game about 2 players role-playing a pivotal conversation. And this is a co-design with Laura Wood, where you get cards that tell you how to invent a backstory, and then there's little humans. They're not just creatures, they're actual humans. And then you say, this is me, and you answer questions about your fake identity, like what matters to you, or what makes you cry, and you ask questions of each other. So you've got a few questions. And honestly, like, some of these questions could be just used in a getting to know you better type setting. But then you select either an affirmation, which is saying how much you love each other, or an argument, which is where the whole game came from, because Laura Wood said, you know what, the best bit of any LARP is that one major argument that you have. And that's, obviously it's an argument in character, not between the players, but you can have a first hello, which might be the first time that you meet someone, or you might have a final farewell, which maybe someone's going away forever, and your character doesn't necessarily know it's at the time, but this will be the last time that you ever see each other. And so you play through one of these types of stories, and there's different things laid out for you to do. But yeah, for a Gamers Gaming Getaway, I mean, there's 2 things that I could make. Either Wordy Connections, which did really well, and I invented that at Now Play This, or my betting game, which the betting game is going to be ridiculously bear-centric, and it's a game that you can only play once. It's kind of a legacy game, but then the idea is very much that you pass it on to someone else, and you might draw something, so the number of times that it's been played by other groups before you will matter, and the question will be something like, how many chips were in a portion of chips that Bez ate? on this particular date. And then someone will make a guess, like let's say they say 37, everyone else will vote more or higher, and people who vote more or higher will get a point for being correct. The other person will get a point for splitting the vote. It doesn't matter if you're correct. If you are bang on, you do get 1 extra point. But yeah, that is the game. And I'm excited for both of those. I am generally finishing up. How am I doing? I'm actually doing okay. I am excited and grateful that if I bring up my Kickstarter again, like it's 188 backers. That's 188 people that I've managed to reach. And even though I would love to have a Kickstarter that was like, I think earlier in the year I said like 1,000 whatever. Like, I'd love to have a Kickstarter that crosses the 1,000 backer mark one day. But considering how little work I put into this feels like, yes, I could make a Kickstarter for all of my busy bargain bags going forwards. Yes, I can do things and not feel obliged to put tons and tons of work into every single thing. And even though if I'd spent a bit more time, if I'd gotten some reviews, it might have done even better. The fact that this many people have backed me is just amazing, and I feel really grateful. I feel okay about now tackling Categorical. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be okay. I feel, fingers crossed, I feel hopeful about Essen. I feel able to get my passport sorted and get there. I feel like I'm massively appreciative of all the people, Josie and Kat and Jane, like everyone who's just generally supporting me. It is just amazing. And so at this point, yeah, I'm feeling good. So question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. Do you have plants? Yeah, this is what genuinely the question of the day. So before I depart, I've got to water a lot of plants. In my own place, I've got one little Christmas plant, and it's by the window, and maybe in the week that I've been away, it might have run out of water and be a little bit unhealthy. Hopefully it's okay. But do you have plants? Are you good at watering plants? That's what I'm asking. That is the question of the day. Let me know. Over to you. What are you up to? You can share button if you want to. What are you up to? Is there something you're looking forward to? Something that you need to do? Share anything, and I promise that I'm listening. So personally, I'll water the plants, which I absolutely need to do here. I will maybe have a quick shower, or I might be scabby and skip it. Get my stuff together, get ready to leave, get myself down to London. I will at some point write a little update for a game about selecting 7 cards, speedily searching for synergies, work out what I'm playtesting tomorrow, make some edits. Yeah, with the deck, I'll just make some edits right on the thing, and we will actually play a game about selecting 7 cards, slowly searching for synergies, which is the alternative rule set. Yeah, that's the main bulk of what I'm doing, just traveling, and yeah, also finishing up a couple of emails to people who put in updates for the ELL Deck game design contest. Josie says, put them out of direct sunlight whilst away so they don't get as dry. Well, now I know. I will do that in future. I will do that when I go to Essen. And I'm better at houseplants than I am at garden ones, says Josie. Interesting. So to recap and wrap up before we finish up, well, ELL Deck contests, I'm excited about all the games. I'm massively grateful to the art, Categorical. I believe in myself. A game about speedily selecting 7 cards. a game about selecting 7 cards, speedily searching for synergies. There's a lot of tweaks to make to it, and honestly, I am really, really excited. I'm probably going to keep the print run fairly low. I'm thinking maybe 50 copies or something like that. 50 copies more than what I need for the Kickstarter. So not a lot. So if like 200 copies get spoken for, I will probably print 250 so that it goes quickly, and then this is just me being honest. There will be a third edition. Even after the second edition, again, there will be problems, but I am going to be spending like basically all day tomorrow trying to focus on this, trying to make it even better. But a game like this, you could tinker and tinker endlessly. What else? A game about quickly matching words to pictures, but never words to words or pictures to pictures. I've got about 10 copies left. It's got a bit to sell out. I'll make the third edition. It's now tiny, almost meaningless changes. It's going to go up to the full price, $7.50. A game about counting cat shapes and colors that keeps getting trickier. I'm actually happy with it, and that's going to go up in price to $7.50. Then what else? Drawn Together. I'm really excited about getting people. I think that the things I should focus on next are probably triangle versus circle. I know it's a boring one, like, because it's just the shapes, but I like that as a baseline of, okay, this is your introduction to the game. And if there were many, many different sheets, I almost feel like that should be sheet number 1. So I'm going to try and maybe do a new one each month. So yeah, maybe I'll add a playtesting thing in the Discord, so keep your eye on there. Yogi Jr. needs a bit of work, needs a bit of pondering, needs a bit of playtesting, and I'm excited about Tabletop Gaming Live. Need to sort out some Airbnb. Essen, need to make some arrangements. KCON, I need to buy my tickets and Josie's tickets. But I am excited about the future. I think that, fingers crossed, it could be a good end of year. And let's talk about brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? I'm going to say that brilliant thing is... No, wait. Why am I back there? I already talked about memory. I remembered that I talked about memory. So, that was recap and wrap up. If you want to check me out, I am Stuff by Beds in all the places. stuffbybeds.com/streams if you want to know what I'm up to in future. Tomorrow will be a very quick show. Saturday, I'll be maybe a quick chat about Magic the Gathering or playtesting. And Sunday will be some sort of solo playtesting. And I might be playtesting ELL Deck games. I might be playtesting a game about selecting 7 cards, speedily searching for synergies. And yeah, check out what's going on. And for now, share, spread the word. Thank you very much, everyone. And bye-bye. Oh, that's lovely. Unions, sunshine, and my son are brilliant things. So lots of love to you all. Have a wonderful day ahead. And all I can say now is bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.